you're trying to remember when we didn't have those shoes, how we made it downtown to the welfare office. Just me, just you. It took a long time trying to get what we got now, baby. Don't you go away and give it up to no other man. I couldn't understand. Don't let the green grass fool you. Oh no, baby, don't let it change your mind. Yeah, it's gonna be hard trying to start our lives all over. Hey, mama, you got the kind of loving that I need.
Of course, Murphy's Law.
Yeah. And if you ever leave me down in the dumps without stuff to fit my heart, ooh,
I just want to talk in the street.
I don't think I'll live. See a brand new day. I wanna hear you do it to me. Say don't let the green grass fool you.
Well,
No,
I'm on time, you're on time.
baby, don't let it change your mind. Oh, it might be greener.
It might be greener over there, baby.
Way over there.
Way on the side. There they go, what we went through.
Right here now, it speaks like on mine as well. So let these fellas play a little bit.
Welcome to Sunday Morning Classics. As time goes by, so does music. And what's this about? Once upon a time, the Pied Pipers of classic soul music. Stan the Man and J. Anthony Andrews. Wow, sorry,
Don't
Anthony.
let the green grass fool you, baby. Don't you never let it change your mind. Ooh, think of me, just think of me. When the world turns to show, I'll be here, baby. And like the days where you belong. You know, I had a lady a couple days that got Miss Freddie, he's got a Cadillac. And you know I always drive a dash. But baby, he can talk sweet nothing in your little woman. I got action, girl, you know I got cash. I said, don't let the great gas fool you. Bubbling over inside me when I tell you, baby, don't let it change your mind.
But you know what?
I sit here all day, just wasting time away, thinking about leaving you, just having you, baby. The life is just where you belong. So come on, give it to me.
Welcome everyone to Sunday Morning Classics. As time goes by, so does music. That's Felipe Wayne from the Spinners, man. Another one of the great soul singers of our time. Well, first let me get a shout out to Joanne, aka Hot Mess. I want to congratulate her. Some good things are happening in her life. She's found someone. Tupac. That's a joke between her and I. But anyway, congratulations on it working out for you. Well, what I have for you today is that today I'm going to, last week I spoke to you about Anthony Andrews, who was part of the Stan the Man radio show in Long Island, one of the only places on Long Island or New York Tri-State at that time, who was playing and dedicate their format to classic soul music. Well, I like I say, and I also mentioned in the interview that, full disclosure, that I also was occasionally a guest host or guests, and ultimately ended up having my own time slot there, broadcasting during the Michael Jackson trial. So you swear to talk about the Jacksons, the whole Jacksons, and nothing but the Jacksons, so help you God. Commenting about the trial and how it was going, and having special guests from the industry like Sly from Sly Slick and Wicked, Rhea Brown, Sarah Ray, who was background dancer for The Godfather, so was Jay. But anyway, I broadcast there, and so, but these guys were the ones that were, who were recognized as someone who was continuing on a classic soul. Okay, and before we get started, let me ask you this question. What's the difference between classic soul and soul music? Something to think about as you listen to this interview that I just had last night, as a matter of fact, with Anthony Andrews. Okay, so that went pretty well. Okay, we got the audio, so what? Well, I was gonna say, so you won't get dizzy. I turned it on, but it doesn't matter. Well, before we get started, let me share with you this image here. Let me see where'd it go. Okay, yeah. This is an image here of of Anthony Andrews standing, and Stan the Man sitting down. It was his radio show, and Anthony Andrews co-hosted it with him. So at least this way you get a visual of who's talking and who he's talking about. I'm sure you'll recognize some of the groups in the industry who we also talked about. So with no further ado, instead of putting in this beam footage, let me put in this audio footage of my interview with Anthony Andrews.
I follow your lead. Okay, right now I'm speaking with Anthony Andrews. How you doing, Anthony? I'm good, G. What's going on, man? Everything's going good. Listen, tell us about the radio. Last week on my show, I read the text that you sent that Evan Mills was going to officially becoming one of the members of the Stylistics. And so it was. Evan Mills made it. He's big right now. Yeah, yeah. And it's exciting to get that kind of news from the source. You know what I'm saying? You know. So first of all, tell us about yourself, musical-wise. I mean, tell us about a WGBB radio station with Stan the Man show. But that's kind of when it all started for you. So let's take us back to that. Yeah, it all started Stan and I about, 2002. We met each other at a show at York College, and we were supporting some people, and I was working at York College, and in addition to being an elected official, I was a politician in New York, and I loved classic soul music, and Stan and I happened to meet, and Stan said, "What do you do?" And I said, I work at the college, and I'm a politician, and he said, I never met a politician before. And he started asking me about my job, my career. And I said, well, what do you do? He said, well, I have a classic soul radio show. And he said, it's called the Stan the Man Show. And I said, oh, that's kind of cool. He said, why don't you come down and check it out? So I came down one night in April, and I enjoyed it. He said, you guest DJs tonight, and, he said, this is fantastic. He said, come down another night. This is really great. And he said, I don't have a partner. I said, well, yeah, but I'm working on my next election. But it's April. In April, rainy days, as they say, in April, April showers bring May flowers, right? So next weekend I'm doing that, but sitting and listening to my basement in Classic Soul, and I said, let me go down to WGBB in Long Island and check out this guy again. And I guest DJ'd again for me. He said, man, everybody tells you, that, or tells me, I should say, that you have a great voice and we sound good together. You really need to think about being my partner. I said, man, I got an election to worry about. I ain't got no time to be, think about doing a radio show, man. Next thing I found myself the next week, another rainy night, sitting in my bed. I said, man, see this guy's doing. He said, man, I'm glad you came down. He said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm introducing you to my new partner, Anthony Andrews, the politician. I said, but I was saying, I didn't say it. I was saying,
need that rest, baby.
I didn't realize he had cut my mic, G. Yo. Stay the hell out of shit with him.
in case you missed that. Oh, thanks a lot, Reg Jam. I appreciate that. You know, in case you missed that, he said Stan the Man was going to introduce him as being his partner on the radio show, but when he did, he found out that Stan the Man wasn't on air at the time and kind of pulled a prank on him. So that's what he was last about.
Nobody heard me. So he said, all right, ladies, then we go to a break, and nobody's hearing me. I said, something's wrong with my headpiece. I can't hear.
Rag Jamrock, you know what? Not for nothing. You ought to do an interview with me and let me post our interview, and you give me 5 songs that you like for me to profile. Something for you to think about now that I got the King's ear, all right? Hold on. This is Anthony Andrews, the other half of Stan the Man's radio show, Long Island's only classic soul radio show, Once Upon a Time.
He said, he said, I touched your bike. I said, well, why'd you do that? He said, because we're good for each other. I said, good for, man, I didn't know you. I just met you 3 weeks ago. I got so many calls from our radio show, so many emails, texts, people saying we're going to be good together. He said, man, this is, trust me, it's going to be good. I said, man, I can't do this. And so we went out for drinks afterwards, and I said, I'll see you later. He said, I'll see you next week.
Okay.
I said, I'm not coming back next week. He said, so you want me to tell our audience, some of who your constituents, that you can't be trusted and you're not a man of your word?
He went like that.
Yeah. I said, why would you do that? He said, because we're good for each other. I said, I don't even know you, brother.
Yeah.
He said, well, we're going to be great together. I said, oh, man, I can't believe this guy would do this. I said, you wouldn't do that. He said, I would. I said, no, you wouldn't. He said, you don't know me. And I said, that's right, I don't know you.
Right.
He said, I'll see you next week. So I'm trying to get out of this G, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get out of this. Next week in Amsterdam, my mother's birthday. And my mother said, oh, family's coming over, birthday party of the house. You coming over? I said, no, I got a radio show to do. She said, a radio show? I said, yeah, I'm doing a radio show. She said, when did this happen? I said, a few weeks ago. She said, wow, I didn't know you had a radio show. I said, well, it's kind of not mine, but I'm like, I'm doing this like I'm a partner for my, and he said, you a partner in the radio? Well, what do you sell? I said, well, we do classic soul. Classic soul, that's my thing. Well, do me a favor, come by after the show. She said, can I listen to the radio? I said, yeah, WGBB 1240 AM on the dial. She said, okay. She said, we're going to tune in tonight. So I get to the radio station and Stan says, hey, partner, how you doing? I said, I was going to be at my mother's house for a birthday party. He said, oh, parties, I like parties. I said, Stan, I should have been there at my mother's party. He said, well, we got a show to do. He said, I'll tell you what we do. Why don't we call your mother up and give her a birthday shout out? I said, okay, that sounds good. So we called my mom up in the middle of the show. She was listening to it. And we gave her a birthday shout out, played Stevie Wonder, happy birthday for her. My mother said the greatest gift, the family was crying on the other side.
Wow.
She said the greatest gift I ever had. And she said, you and your partner come by afterwards for the party.
I just want to throw this in here. You know, it's good to have someone who you know is on air, FM or Sirius or whatever it is, someone who you're close enough with that you can call them and say, hey, give so-and-so a shout out. I'm sitting here kicking with her. You know, I want to let her give her blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, sure. Okay, Gerard, sure, no problem. You have to wait, though, Gerard. I said, no problem. So it's a good feeling. So, you know, I know the feeling how his mother felt when she heard the shout out from him.
She announced it here. Tim said, boy, I can't wait. I love parties. Next thing you know,
Wow.
we're at my mother's house. Everybody loves the guy. And
Right,
everybody
sure.
said, man, we love the new party.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, how do I get out of this?
Right.
And it's like, doesn't he seem a little strange to y'all? Everybody like, no, fact, he reminds me of your uncle's friend, so-and-so. You know,
Okay.
everybody loves Stan.
You got to understand, Stan was, you see the picture of him. This is the picture of him right here, sitting down. Let me see if I can. Sitting down. Stan was a jolly guy, man. He was a jolly guy. I mean, you could tell he enjoyed life. You could tell he enjoyed his. Yeah, yeah, he's
And
like a
I'm
big
like,
teddy bear. Yeah,
he was like a big teddy bear,
yeah.
right? G, and God bless my partner. That's my partner, my best friend, and
And you know,
so my mom said,
full disclosure, I want to say that Stan was always willing to give somebody an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? To come on the air, you know, to say what else. He gave me an opportunity to introduce me to the radio station. And I did my 18 weeks of Do You Swear to talk about the Jacksons, the whole Jackson, Jackson Help Me God during the Michael Jackson trial. But it was always a gas being there, being invited there. I was promoted. I just want to throw something also about that broadcast series I had about the Jacksons. I highlighted each member of the Jacksons. Each member of the Jacksons had their own success in the music charts. My magazine, it was a good thing. But Anthony, before we get into the first song of your selection of what, because I asked you to send me 5 songs,
yep.
this question was been pondering me in my mind. What is the difference between soul music and classic soul music? Now, before you answer this, let me tell you how I kind of interpret it.
Okay.
I kind of look at like Al Green, Sam Cooke, who are some of the others? Lou Rawls. Those are soul singers. They sing
You're right.
soul music. Classic
You're right.
soul music, I think it has a lot to do with the group. That Philly sound. That kind of classic sound. Music that we.
Motown.
Yes, yes. So, what's your definition of soul music and classical soul music, and what is the difference?
You're absolutely right. And soul music is by those singers who became legends, who gave you music that feeds the soul.
Okay.
And then classic soul came about, through the Philly sound, and as you talked about Motown, and it just wasn't a group, but it was a different way, kind of looking at the way rock used upbeat music to get people to dance, and not just to listen and to vibe in on what was being done, whoever was singing, but it got people to move your body a little bit, move around, and it hits your soul in a different way. Groups like the Stylistics, even the Jacksons that you talk about, those groups were a little bit different because they fed your soul in a different way, and they became the classic soul artists of today.
Right. Okay. Okay. The first song that you gave me was with Ray Goodman and Brown, and it's called "Gotta Be a Special Lady." Tell us about that song and what does it mean to you? But before, wait. Before you tell me, let me play the song.
Okay.
Come on. What's my thumb. Okay. No, come on. How you get out of this? Okay. Okay. Here we go.
You gotta be a special lady, 'cause you got me sitting on top of the world, sitting on top of the world. Somehow I knew it would be you, change my gray skies to blue. It was strange when you called my name. Ever since that day, I haven't been the same. Oh, before I met you, my sun didn't want to shine. The Lord set me still behind. I put the wheel in my mind.
Must be a special lady. And a very exciting girl. So exciting. It must be a special lady. You got me sitting on top of the world. Sitting on top of the world.
I was like a soul, key.
And a very exciting girl. Gotta be a special lady. Gotta be a special girl. But you know what? She got me sitting on top of the world. Sitting on top of the world. Classic, baby. Classic song. Oh, man. These are songs you never get tired of hearing. Sitting on top of the world. Sitting on top of the world.
I'm Al Goodman from Ray Goodman and Brown, and I'm out here for the 5th anniversary.
Okay. That was Gotta Be a Special Lady. I didn't know it was going to end so abruptly, but be that as it may, well, it kind of gave you the clue on what is yet to come. But let's go back to Anthony Andrews and his interview. And we'll go.
All right, welcome back. Okay, I'm speaking to Anthony Andrews from WGBB 1240 AM FM Classic Soul station in New York City. So, Anthony, tell us about that song now.
Well, the good thing is that people, let me just bring you up to date. YC Radio, if anybody Googles YC Radio, that's where my show now, the podcasts and all those, what we call the classics and the replays are on that station, YC Radio, which is, anybody can get that by the internet. But all the old STMS radio shows and all the stuff I did in later years when it became the San Antonio Music Show, and then San Antonio Music Show that I did with my partner passed away on ycradio.org. So check those out if you want to listen to some of those old broadcasts, some of them that you've been on, and some of the newer broadcasts I did to carry on the memory of my partner. So that's a quick update for everybody.
Okay.
That song means a great deal to me. First of all, I grew up with that song being played, and grew up a big fan of the Moments, who were, before they became Ray Goodman and Brown. And the Moments did great songs like Love on a Two-Way Street.
Yes.
And then years later, when they did this, it was such a huge hit. But let me tell you something, the people that sang, and I want to say sang, because little boys could sing.
Sang, yeah.
That sang that song,
If you don't know the difference between to sing a song and sang a song, then you're already behind the curve, baby. Already behind the curve.
These are good people. Billy Brown and Al Goodman, fantastic people, as you know, G. And, I remember, so people talk about the legends and the artists they were, but better people than even artists. I remember my grandfather passed away, and I was so distraught. And Stan told Al Goodman, and Al Goodman was on the road, and on the road he called me up and talked to me, and he said, "I've heard that you're down, Tony. I just want to let you know there are other things right now that you may not see because you're not old enough, but I can tell you this will pass, and you'll realize all the memories and the things he's taught you. Those are things that will live on forever."
Right.
So we talk about that group. Not just the artists and the songs they made, G, but they were even better people.
Yeah.
Like the great Al Good.
Yeah. Okay. Now, tell us more about how'd you got involved with classic soul music? Who were some of the artists that you had at the radio station that stood out in your mind that you would like to share with us?
So when Stan and I started doing the show, and that was, after those 4 episodes, I realized I couldn't get rid of the guy. The guy was not letting me go. And then he told me in the last part that disappeared, he hadn't seen him around. I thought maybe he made the guy disappear. So I said, I don't want to disappear. This guy says I need to be with, Stan was about 250, 260 on a light day.
Yeah.
6'3", 6'4", right? So anyway, we started together and we became a great team. We became VIPs, as you know, in the classic soul world, and Long Island's only classic soul radio show at the time.
That's big. That's big when you become the representative of a movement, especially a musical movement like classic soul, and you become the face of it. To artists who are not only involved in that, who also created that music, and they're recognizing you.
And Stan and I started having our. What many people didn't know is that Stan was the road manager for such groups as UTO, FO, and Full Force, and did shows with Big Daddy Kane and Biz Markie, some of the great artists, rap artists of our time. And so he wasn't known in the classic soul world, but all of a sudden, the radio stations in New York City stopped playing classic soul, WBLS, WWRL,
Yes.
98.7
Yes.
And we were, except for the Quiet Storm in New York City, we were the only other show that was playing classic soul in Long Island, New York.
Right, yeah.
So the legends became.
We're not mad at the transition of what music has gone through, just like it's gone through classical music or opera music or country music or hip hop music, which what was it, 1998, when hip hop became the most popular music in the world. It had surpassed country that year. But we're not mad at that, but we do notice that that's when they stopped playing, a lot of the classic soul music. But you also notice it was a sampling from a lot of those classic soul music that put them on the charts, baby. True that.
To gravitate towards us.
Yeah.
They began to gravitate towards us because they said, "You're playing our music." And then, let alone the classic music, they said nobody's going to play our new stuff, and we played their new stuff. We wanted the fans to hear what they were doing now. So we started doing the stuff, and next thing you know, Stan, just by chance, Algie, this is all God, right?
Right, all God.
We're on the show, and my godbrother calls me. My godbrother calls me and says, "Man, such and such and such." I said, "No, I don't know. I mean, he's one of the Persuaders." Well, as you know, the Persuaders' biggest hit was "Thin Line Between Love and Hate."
Yes.
So, the guy passed away. He said, and I wonder if you want to have on the show. Now, we hadn't been doing the show 2 months.
Right.
I said, "Well, I'd love to have these guys on the show." He said, "Well, they're in the studio practicing. Let me see. I know them. They live in the neighborhood. They live in our neighborhood." I said, "They live in our neighborhood?" So it's kind of crazy.
Right.
You get someone, and we do an interview. Next thing you know, the Persuaders, the legendary Persuaders, are coming to our studio, and they're on air, and they're doing the show and singing "Thin Line Between Love and Hate." Almost simultaneously, Sam is at he's at the UPS store dropping off a package, and he looks at this guy behind me. He says, "Hey, listen,
you never know when opportunity will knock." Just like I spoke about Sarah Rhea becoming the background dancer for the Godfather Soul, Mr. James Brown. Real quick, she was a hostess at one of the tables at the pre-Grammy party. Her dance troupe was supposed to perform at it, but it didn't, so Bonnie asked her if she wanted to host and put it at Mr. Brown's table. And so she hosted. Mr. Brown said, "What do you do?" She said, "I'm your new dancer." He says, "I'm a dancer." She said, "I'm a dancer." He said, "You're my new dancer. You're my new dancer." And she said, "Yeah, right. Give me your number." And 2 days later, she was in Augusta, and she toured with him for the next 6 years. You never know when opportunity is going to knock.
You look like an OG. You like a classic soul." And so the guy says, yeah, I do. He goes, here's my card. You got to take us to our show. He said, so I hope so.
Put it down. Come here. Say hello. This is Malin. She's going to be leaving us. She's leaving in February. We're going to miss her. Good luck, Malin. I think she got a foreigner. We'll talk later.
He said, you do a TIMC shows. He said, where? So he said, well, what kind of shows? He said, well, I'm the MC for the legendary group Blue Magic.
Ooh, yeah.
Side shows.
With no Sawyers.
All those great songs, I should say. And so,
Speaking of which,
yes, it worked.
let's play your next selection. Because your next selection,
We
your next selection
should do that right there.
is with the Blue Magic. And the name of the song is what?
I think the name of this song is.
Before we do that song, let me go back and play that real Ray Goodman interview that slipped in there. But I thought I had a break when I was doing the interview with him, that where I mentioned about the interview, but I saw that I didn't. But let's play this interview here with Al Goodman that was taken at the radio station that Anthony Brown and Stan the Man were there. They were celebrating, I think, 5 years or 25 years. I can't remember. Oh, Al's going to talk about it.
I'm Al Goodman from Ray Goodman and Brown, and I'm out here for the 5th anniversary of Stan and WGBB, and I'm loving it, man. We're having a lot of good friends, seeing a lot of friends from different groups of Persuaders, Escorts, a window from Blue Magic. I mean, it's just like old home week, so I'm glad to be a part of it.
Wine from the church. Gin and juice, baby.
Okay, listen, I want to ask you a question. What do you think the state is of classic soul today? Are you getting a good turnout when you perform out there?
We're getting great turnouts when we perform because our age group don't have anywhere else to go besides church. And for good entertainment, they come out to see the shows that are reputable, you know. So we've been getting great response from the show.
Okay, I'll tell you. The name of my show is called Dreams and Nothing More Than Plans Awaiting Action. What advice would you give someone about following your dreams and your goals?
Well, I would say follow your dream, but don't let it interfere with what you're supposed to do. Like get an education and so forth. Do all of that, but make sure that you get your education. And when you get to the point where something good is going to happen for you, make sure that you get a good entertainment lawyer to take care of your business for you.
Okay, and what advice would you give a young artist coming into the business and how to become a classic group or a longevity as Ray Goodman and Brown have?
Well, watch somebody from the old school and see how they did it for years, and patting yourself behind that. Joe Robinson told us years ago in the early 60s to follow the Dells example. The Dells, the singing group, the Dells, and that's what we followed throughout the years to see how they did it and how they stayed together with longevity. We did the same thing. Okay, and I would tell you, try to follow somebody from the old school that stayed together. So and get advice from those groups. Talk to them. They'll give you the advice to keep you going.
Okay, thanks a lot, brother.
Okay, that was an interview I did with Al Goodman of Ray Goodman and Brown. We're going to go back to the interview with Anthony Andrews. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, there you go. Okay. Oh, we were here. We were doing an interview. Okay.
Sideshow.
That's right. I'm trying to pull up the playlist here, but like I said, Murphy's Law, Sideshow. Okay, so let's pause right here and let's play Sideshow by the wonderful, wonderful Blue Magic with Wendell Sawyers, his brothers, and the rest of the group. Okay, and we'll be right back. Okay, you're listening to Gerard's Sunday Morning Classics. As time goes by, so does music, with Anthony Andrews, the part 2 of the Stan the Man show, who was the first and only classic soul radio station in Long Island for the longest time and still doing this thing. And we'll be right back after Sideshow.
That almost sounded how do you say it? Professional. Okay. You know, I appreciate you guys coming and listening to it. It makes me feel that I have something worthwhile for you to listen to. But hit that like button, you know, for no other reason than let me know that you do like it, all right? And I appreciate you. You're listening to Sunday Morning Classics as time goes by. So does music. You listen to an interview of a person, a very, very personal friend of mine. I believe he's going to be president one day, although he is president. Well, he'll tell you more about it. Anthony Andrews, who was part two of the Stand the Man show. I think I named this show Once Upon a Time, the Pied Pipers of classic soul music. And so that's what you're listening to. All right, so thank you. And let's go on with Sideshow. I always ask someone who I'm interviewing to provide 5 songs, so these were his 5 songs.
See the Sideshow cows for only 50 cents.
Good, Bob.
Before the show begins,
10 Mills.
my friends, stand in line, get your tickets,
I believe that it was that falsetto voice at the time that really pinpointed classic soul music. Because there was a time when falsettos, from the Temptations with Eddie Kendricks all the way across the board, you know, falsettos were important to a song and created that mood.
It'll only cost you 50 cents to see what life has done to those like you and me. See the man with the broken heart, you see that he is sad. He hurts so bad, so bad, so bad. See the girl who has lost the only love she ever had. There's got to be no sadder show to see. No doubt about it, satisfaction's guaranteed. So let the sideshow begin. Hurry, hurry, step right on in. Can't afford to pass you by. Guaranteed to make you cry. Let the sideshow begin. Hurry, hurry, step right on in.
Boy,
Can't afford to pass you
it
by.
hurts when you lose someone you love.
To make you cry. See the man who's been crying for a million years. So many tears, so many tears. See the girl
Listen to classic sound, baby.
broken hearts are souvenirs. It's more exciting than a one-man band. The saddest little show in all the land. So let the sideshow begin. Hurry, hurry. Can't afford to pass it by. Guaranteed to make you cry. Let the sideshow begin. Hurry, hurry, step right on in. Can't afford to pass it by. Guaranteed to make you cry. So let the sideshow begin. Step right on in. Can't afford to pass it by. Guaranteed to make you cry. Let the sideshow begin. Step right on in. Step right on in.
The best of Soul Train is being brought to you in part by
Okay, that was Blue Magic Sideshow. That was one of Anthony Andrews' picks. for 5 songs. Let's get back to the interview. And okay. Wait, I think I almost lost my camera. That's okay. Here we go. Let's go back to Anthony Andrews and.
Okay, welcome back. Okay, so Anthony, tell us about this song. What you like about Sideshow?
Well, listen, I've been a big Blue Magic fan. It's probably my favorite group, Blue Magic. Been listening to it since I was a kid. My uncle would put this on the record player, and it would never go off, man. It was on for 2-3 hours, and, you know, you just play this song back and forth. So I know the words by heart. And you know, as I was saying before we cut to the music, you know, Sugar Bear, who was their MC, Stan happened to meet him at the UPS store. Next thing you know, we got Wendell Sawyer from Blue Magic coming down, and next thing you know, Wendell Sawyer is a part of our team, and he becomes one of the co-hosts of the STMS radio show.
How about that? How about that?
It's nothing but God, man. Nothing but God.
Yeah. And Ted Mills had a hell of a voice, didn't he?
Ted Mills, lead singer, still singing. I just put one of his songs in rotation the other day.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So where do you see the state of classic soul music is today, Anthony?
Well, you know, I think, you know, it's important for us to keep the music alive. It's part of our history, right? It's part of music history. But it's also important to know that a lot of these artists are still producing and writing their own songs. And it's also extremely important that we support these artists coming out to these shows, keeping this music alive. There's nothing like this music. This music never dies. I mean, people don't realize that they hear it on commercials and they say, I remember that song.
Yeah. And you know, there's a lot to be said about these artists. They're still in the studio recording songs. You know, even like with Earth, Wind, and Fire, you know, when you didn't hear nothing of them, they put out a whole slew of projects where they still work on these.
Now, when I was talking about Earth, Wind, and Fire putting out a whole slew of music, I wasn't specifically talking about Earth, Wind, and Fire. I was talking about Maurice White. Because Maurice White was the voice of Earth, Wind, and Fire. So you can hear him still recording in a lot of music. I mean, my God, you know, I love Maurice White. You know, in my stories, you know, I must have seen Earth, Wind, and Fire about 6 or 7 times when I was in the military, even when I got out. And I used to watch him because I like him on the stage when he played a little thing, you know, play that thing. And then when he stopped, you know, touring, I did go see them once at Jones Beach in New York City, and it was without Maurice White. And I felt so disappointed. I felt so robbed, because I was expecting to hear that sound, you know, that Maurice White, you know, Maurice's distinct voice. Oh my God, you know, I mean, Maurice White he'd take those 2 things, pow, and his contribution was cemented into the song, you know. And so, you know, although Philip Bailey did a good job, you know, I decided at that time I wasn't going to see Earth, Wind, and Fire anymore, because I realized that I went to go see Earth, Wind, and Fire. I went to go see Maurice White. Forward. I got an offer to interview Philip Bailey at the Blue Notes. You may not know the Blue Notes. Blue Notes is in New York City. It's in the Village. It's a very small club. If it holds more than 50 people, I'd be surprised. I mean, the stage is so close that you can sit in the first row and cross your legs on the stage. That's how, you know, I may be exaggerating, but that's how close it seemed, you know. So I was supposed to interview Philip Bailey after the gig. Now, he played a lot of Earth, Wind, and Fire songs. His sons played. All of them sound very, very good, like this. And then he said, good night. I said, wait, Philip, what about Reasons? I said, we didn't come here to hear you sing all Earth, Wind, and Fire song. We came here to hear you sing Reasons. And he did not sing Reasons. You know, I was so pissed, I don't want to interview him. Because first I'm going to ask you, why didn't you sing Reasons, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? The only reason I can see is that maybe the venue didn't pay him enough. He felt, I'll show you, I'm not going to sing Reasons. Or, you know, because it can't be because of your fans, Your fans, the fans are everything to you, or they should be everything to you. And you should want to always satisfy your fans because they're the ones that brought you the way you are today. But then anyway, you know, I swore from that point on that unless Maurice is there, I don't want to hear about it. He's dead, so I don't hear about it. But I like Maurice, so. But Maurice still recorded music. I was 95, driving down the 95, heading to my baby's house. I still can't find, I think it was on Millennium, I still can't find that song. Crazy about that song. I want to spend the night with you. Oh, let me stop. Because we're going somewhere. Okay, come on, Anthony.
Guys are still doing their thing. Even with The Godfather, Mr. James Brown, last album, The Next Step. He put out an album that was awesome. You know what I'm saying? But although to my ears, I hear.
I gave you the best years of my life. All I ever do was treat you right, huh? And now you're telling me that ain't good enough for you. I tell you what I wanna do. Why? Oh, why? Why do you? Oh man, that was Mr. James Brown. You can always tell people who really respect Mr. James Brown because before they say their name, you say Mr. James Brown. And it was on Johnny Carson when he told them, Johnny, he said, James, he said, no, my name is Mr. James. I said, James, my name is, say it one more time, walk on the show. And he said, James, you got to walk off the show. You don't see that, do you? No, because it, shows a bad stain on Johnny Carson. Because he should have respected that man.
I think that's commercial. That would be commercially accepted, but it's never accepted on mainstream playlists because they're all up into this new music and everything. Yeah, but they are still recording and doing their thing, and
absolutely.
Yeah. And so anyway, are you doing any shows now or anything along those lines?
We still have flashback shows.
Okay.
Sometimes I do a live show. I'm here in Wisconsin. And the studio is in New York. So sometimes I do a live show with DJ Angel Reed. Sometimes DJ Smooth B will do a show with me. But Angel Ray and Smooth B are my DJs, and most times they just put on flashback shows. Because, all those years we've done shows, I've got 500-600 shows in the can. I can do flashback shows for the rest of my life, and you won't hear them repeat once.
Me too.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I got a lot of flashbacks.
Because why? Because I'm broadcasting.
Too, it's funny, when they talk about doing this work here, about making commitment. That's what I was saying about the hardest thing about being on radio or doing anything like that is making a commitment, and sticking to it. I mean, even my Sunday morning classics, as time goes by, so does music. I mean, if I was to look at the numbers, it's very disappointing, but yet and still it's doing something what I made a commitment to do. You know what I'm saying? When you make a commitment to do something, I mean, that separates the men from the boys. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, you don't look at the numbers, you make a commitment. When you make a commitment to come on at 7 a.m., I looked at my show one Sunday and there were people waiting. I said, oh, I started to cry. You're waiting for me to come on. So making a commitment, to do something is one of the hardest things, especially in this business when you're dealing with the public and entertainment-wise.
One thing I want to say, I don't make promises. When someone asks me, Gerard, you promise? I said, no, I don't make promises. Promises are made to be broken. I'll make a commitment to you. My commitment is a lot stronger than any promise that I could give you. Because if I make a commitment to do something, I'm going to do it. Okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, so before we go into your third selection, Tell us a little bit about what you're doing today. I mean, you made the crossover. You've always been in politics, and every now and then I call you Mr. President because I expect to be voting for you one day. I mean, you happen to beat. I mean, Obama beat you, but yet still, I mean, I was thinking about you way back then. Yeah. So tell everybody what you're doing today, because you've done extraordinary with your life, and every time I see you post something, I always tell you how proud I am of you, of how your growth and development has gone.
Well, if you look at the position I hold and you look in the source, you'll see that there are a couple of definitions, and also you'll see synonyms for it. And so I'm the campus executive of the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point Marshfield campus. So I'm in Wisconsin. I run a college campus. People say, what's a campus executive? Well, the other words for campus executive are dean of a college or president of a college. They say, Mr. President, a lot of my colleagues would say, you may not have the exact title, but that's what you do. You are basically the president of the campus.
Right,
you run the campus? Yeah, you're the president.
Yeah.
So it's a great thing. I went from looking to be president of the United States to running a college campus where a lot of my colleagues consider you may be campus executive, but to us, you're the president, because the president runs the college, and it's what you do. So I enjoy it. I have a small campus, and I love educating people, and it's a rural community, and so I deal with a lot of first generation and rural students, trying to give them an opportunity to go to college, man.
Okay, that's wonderful. It's wonderful. Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, so this third song, I'm still trying to pull up the playlist, because both of my phones, one is recording, the other one is I'm talking to you, but I can't pull up the Facebook message. But what was the third song that you had that added to your playlist?
So I think we may have put in Black Ivory. Yes.
Well, it's funny, and I mean to cut you off. I did an interview. I did an interview with Wendell Sawyers. A little segment, Quarterman. We talked about classic soul and all that stuff like that. And it was one of the Black Ivory members. I can't remember his name. But he
Stewart?
I can't remember. But he also came on, and I did an interview with him. In fact, I played it a couple of weeks ago. Maybe I'll put it in this show. But
Yes, we put it in this show because I'm actually talking to somebody who is actually involved with them. So why wouldn't I want to give as much shine as I can to not only the groups, but to the people who I'm interviewing. Okay, here we go.
Okay, greetings everyone. My name is Gerard, editor-in-chief of SGIB magazine. The stand for Soldiers Got Intentions, Believe That. And everyone should be searching for something, a dream, a goal, an idea, a train of thought. And right now I'm at the FBCC Cultural Club in Hempstead, and introducing to you the one and only Mr. Wendell Sawyers, one of the original members of the Blue Magic.
Yeah.
How you doing, bro?
Doing great, bro. How you doing, man?
Tell us what you're up to, what you been?
Oh, we're doing a lot, man. We've been working a lot. We've been traveling all over. We finished a Christmas CD. We're working on now a classic. We're gonna do some of the classic songs. We're gonna remake them.
Okay.
Like Close to You and all that stuff that we grew up on. And that album is complete. Probably complete in about 2 months.
Okay.
And then we're gonna work with some original material. And it's been busy, man.
Okay. Are you performing tonight?
No, I'm here to watch tonight.
Very rare.
Very rare. I get a chance to see a show.
Okay, tell my viewers some of the songs that Blue Magic made famous.
Oh, well, the first one that we put out was Spell, and me and Stella was Sideshow. Stop the Star went gold. Let's see what Spell, Stop the Star. Yeah, that's it. Those three went gold. The album went gold. So.
I remember last time I saw you was at Stan the Man show.
Stan the Man show.
And I did an interview with Al Goodman. Al Goodman is on my website. He's got a lot of hits.
Yeah, man. Well, Al, man, miss Al, man.
Yeah.
That was a true brother, man. I mean, anytime I need to know something because they're basically the reason why we started.
Okay.
Because Keith's sister, his half sister, used to date Billy Brown. And she would tell us how they were into and stuff. We couldn't believe it because, we're sitting there with his album, looking at Billy Brown and Al Goodman. And it was just amazing to become friends with him, and Al was a very close friend. And his passing came suddenly, and it was a shock. Yeah.
Tell us how you think the fight of soul music is today. I mean, I've been asking a few of the other groups. I mean, because I'm here.
This is not for nothing, but Tupac did a song, How Long Will They Mourn You?
How people respond to it. You guys should be.
Oh, they respond to us great. That's what you're talking about the music they're putting out today.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about that.
You sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
Get somebody to drop it.
The music today, it lacks the longevity that we had. I mean, we started out in the 70s, and we're still performing those same songs 30-something years from then, almost 40 years, right? And the songs today disappeared 2 years, because what we did was real music, They're not doing real music anymore. You got one guy with a computer, and he sits in there and puts all the sounds on. Okay, with us, we had a 30-piece horn section, 20-piece string section, and a rhythm section. We got all those people on the record, man. That's what we call soul. Okay, soul. Guys, because all the souls going into. Oh, Mr. Ivory Bell. How are you, Mr. Ivory Bell?
Oh, well, I guess we're going to end it.
What's good, baby? What's good?
Tell us a little
How you
about
doing?
Mr. Bell.
Well, I say
You see me just doing my thing, baby, trying to make a difference, try to leave a carbon footprint, as some might say.
for Wendell and Blue Magic for quite a few years. And this is my brother, and I'm happy to see him. With the Del
I come in for another guy.
In the what?
And he's they both got ball here.
That's how things happen.
Wendell gave us a good background about the group and everything. So you was coming in. So actually, both of you, what advice would you give someone about following their dreams and goals and the secret of longevity as far as groups compared to things? What you were saying?
Well, like I said, the music made us have longevity, really. Basically, the music. And plus, how we came out, went up here to the top, is classic. So, classic. Mannerism, you can talk, and that kind of stuff. And we went wild, and music was saying positive things, and not all the negativity that's going on today. So, so I think a lot of that we put into us at that point in time gave us the longevity that we do have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, what advice would you give? If you want to add on more?
Hard work.
Hard work.
Hard work, dedication. Be dedicated to your craft. Never stop growing. Never stop networking. Stay busy. And believe in yourself. No matter what. Because it's difficult. There's a lot of talent out there. There's nothing more common than unsuccessful, great talent that's just yet to be heard. So you have to believe in yourself and stay true to your craft and just keep on going. Eventually,
Hold on, I have a commercial. Mia, where you going? You don't come sit low. You don't bring me my child. Hello, baby. Come here. Say hello to daddy's fans. Say hello. Say hello, Sunday morning classics. Say hello. Say listen to my daddy's music. Yes, it's going to pay for my college fund one day. This is Duchess. She's not feeling well. She's 9 months old, and she's had a terrible cough for about a week, and she's under special treatment that Mia has given to her every day. So hopefully she'll get better. She's a little quiet now, so I don't know, either she's drugged or either she's well, either one. Mia, say hello. Say hello. Mia, very country looking. My God, it's okay. I don't mind. Yeah, we don't mind. Mommy can dress like that. Mommy can just, Malin can. Yeah, okay. Daddy got to finish the show. Here, Mia, come get her. Let me finish the show. Okay. Say bye, me. Hey, your kid. Duchess. Okay. All right, let's get back to the interview.
Is there a website information where you guys can be found at?
Facebook.
Okay, Facebook is good.
Everybody on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, you go to Facebook, you'll find us.
Okay.
The internet is a powerful piece.
It sure is.
Put it in and there you go.
Okay, I'm Gerard, and remember, dreams are nothing more than plans awaiting action. Never disrespect the elbow, you know what's supposed to up. And sometimes you'll be the only one who can see your vision. And I've been blessed by having Blue Magic in the house. Everybody take it.
Okay, let's get back to Anthony's interview. Okay, here we go.
It was like an extra jewel to be able to have both of them, you know, on the same interview, you know. But anyway, so tell us about the Black Ivory song.
Listen, let me tell you, all the Black Album songs are fantastic. But let me tell you about these guys. I mean, these guys are incredible. They are still doing songs. I just got a text from a friend of mine just about 2 days ago about a new Black Ivory show that they're doing. Russell has been doing his own songs. He's branched out a little bit and done some singles in the last couple of years. And now Leroy also has done some singles in the last couple of years. But they're still singing together. And for Stewart, many people know Stewart sang lead a lot of times also. Stewart has been the driving force behind the National R&B Society with Vanessa, who is the president. I mean, they are married, they are partners, and they started out just working together, and they are fantastic, a fantastic power couple, keeping our music alive through the National R&B Society, an organization which Stan and I were founding members and helped get off the ground and started. So Black Ivory has been at the forefront of keeping this music alive, and they'll continue to be. Okay.
Well, you know, this whole thing with what we're doing now got started because of the text you sent out about Evan Mills. So tell us about Evans. You know, I mean, I was wondering, so like, is there a coronation that he goes through to be accepted as one of the members of the stylistic? You know, bend down on one knee and they're anointing him like this, or does it simply mean that he's on contract now? You know.
You would think so. It's pretty incredible. I mean, Evan, as everybody in the classic soul and R&B and funk music industry knows, is known as the dictionary. And the reason he's known as the dictionary is because he knows everything about any group that is, you know, done a song, produced, choreographed dances, classic soul, acts on stage, anything you can think about related to classic soul, he knows it. And he can tell you who did it.
Okay.
He is an incredible human being, a close friend of mine, a brother. But more than that, he's an incredible singer.
Yeah.
Evan has, you know, he started out as a classic soul aficionado, but he learned all the songs, all the words of songs, so much so that he would sometimes sing the songs and the classic soul groups, the legends, would hear him in the audience and say, this guy can sing. So during his lifetime, there are times when somebody got sick or somebody at the last minute couldn't make it or was late to a show. And some of these classic soul groups will call Evan up on stage and said, Evan, can you fill in? Put on this outfit. Sometimes it's too big for him, sometimes it's small. But Evan would put on stage, he would belt out the song, and he knew all the words, and he knew all the dances. He knew all the moves with the dances. So he became like a friend of the classic soul artists. They grew to love him as a fan. Well, fast forward years later, Evan's programming our shows and doing another show also, and helping Stan with the programming. And Evan finds out that the Persuaders, they need another singer. And so the Persuaders Review, they called themselves at the time, they brought Evan on. Evan became a member of the legendary Persuaders Review.
Was that the one with Tony Showtime Rally and Richard Poindexter?
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Richard Poindexter, Bobby Poindexter,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, the great writers and singers wrote the Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Their quickest hit. And Tony Showtime Riley was the lead singer, and Evan began singing with him. And that group was really dynamic and kept the music alive. They did, because they were a review, they could do other songs besides just the Persuaders.
Right.
They did them all well. So Evan was doing that. Then he did a lot of other things, helped out other groups from time to time. But as we move along, years later now, there's an opening, it seems, with the great legendary Stylistics group.
Yes.
And they called Evan and said, Evan, we know your reputation. We know you can sing. We know you've been, a friend and fan of the classic soul industry for years. We'd like to have you sing with us. Evan said, well, no, I got to try it.
Yeah.
That's what I said in the beginning about knowing the difference between someone who can sing and sing. We know you can sing. we know you can do it.
They want to meet with us. They got there, so they basically just hand them uniform, G.
Yeah.
He said, don't try us. So we already know what you can do.
Right.
That's why we know you.
Well, that's something I speak about a lot on my show, Anthony. I talk about how classic soul artists use each other to fill in spots when other members can't be there, due to booking problem or personal conflict. That there are several artists who they use to fill in, that missing member. Because when the group calls for 5 members, they want to see 5 members. When the contract calls for 4 members, they want to see 4 members. You know what I'm saying? So they want to make sure that contractual agreement is met.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I speak about that a lot, and I give a lot of credence to a person who's actually sung with the original members of that group. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, like you have the Stylistics, and then you have the new Stylistics, but then in the new Stylistics, you got original members. Now if there was another group that came around and said they're the Stylists and there's no original member in it or anyone who's played with them, well, I don't give them any credence whatsoever. I don't give them any shine. But it has a lot to do with members, who have actually performed with some of the original members of the group.
Absolutely. And
I want to remind you that you're listening to the Sunday Morning Classics as time goes by. So does music. I'm your host, Gerard. I'm Gerard Black in the Philippines with the truth. And you're listening to Anthony Andrews, the other half of the Stan the Man show. They're broadcasted every Friday night on WGBB AM in New York City. It was Long Island or the Tri-State areas. Only classic soul station.
Stylistics is one of the only classic soul groups still around.
Yeah.
That has the majority of the members are original members. 2 of the 3 Stylistics that were performing before they took on Evan were original members.
Yeah, Russell, what's it name? Russell, Russell, the falsetto. That guy's. I mean, see that's what makes classic soul. You have to get back to a classic soul. You don't get tired of listening to that music, man. I mean, and the feeling. That's why I say that. I mean, the feelings you feel for music is genuine. That's why I say the only thing I can trust, Anthony. I can't trust nothing else, but I can trust music, man. I can trust music on how it makes me feel. It's not trying to want nothing, con me, anything like that. And the feelings I feel are genuine, man. And that's one of the beautiful things about music. Okay.
Well, music does the same thing with you that it does with me. It feeds your soul. And that's why they call it soul music.
Yeah. Well, Anthony, I kept you on here for a long time. I want to thank you for joining me on the show and work on Evans for me, because I still like to get him and kind of bathed in his success of becoming an original member of the Stylistics.
I will do that. I sent him a message the other day. He hasn't got back to me, but it could be that he's performing somewhere in another country and just hasn't been able to get back to me because he's in another country, because they do a lot of travel. Right.
Well, which brings me to another question. They appreciate our music a lot more in other countries than they do here in the United States.
Absolutely right. Right. Stan and I, when we were doing our show in Long Island, we found that most of our music was being complimented in Germany and Japan. places like that. Sweet. They were, we had more love there than we did here in America.
Yeah.
So
How about
it's
that?
very interesting. You doing the show in the Philippines after, being, somebody who had a magazine and a radio show in Long Island so many years ago is incredible. So I thank you for keeping this music alive, brother, and taking it international.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, one last question before I let you go, my beloved brother.
He was giving me props for doing my show and doing, what I can to keep this music, this genre alive.
What advice would you give someone about following their dreams and their goals?
I think just as Evan did, you can never give up on your dreams. You should never give up on yourself. I think you need to put yourself in position all the time so that God can work the magic that He knows He needs to work to be able to bring you to your dream. Whenever you stop and you decide to think about what you want to do and to think about why it shouldn't be done or why you can't do it, that's when the blessings stop.
Right.
When you keep driving towards your dream and you keep believing, you just got to keep praying because eventually God's going to help you achieve it. And that's what happened with Evan.
Wow. Well, thank you, Anthony. Okay, you've been listening to Gerard, our Sunday morning classic. As time goes by, so does music with Anthony Andrews, one half of the 1240 WGBB classic soul radio station on Long Island. And we're happy. And I want to thank you for doing what you're doing to keeping classic soul music alive and still continuing to be in my life. All right, Anthony, thank you very much.
Thanks, my brother.
Okay.
I appreciate you, brother.
I love you. You know I love you, man.
Much love, dude.
Okay.
Love you too back, man.
Okay, and give my love to the fam, okay?
You know I will.
Okay, all right. One.
Okay, before we sign off, I want to play the Black Ivory song because we talk so much about Black Ivory. So I want you to hear that before we sign off. So hopefully, I want to do more of these, and I want to remind you that I'm not getting paid for these. That I'm making no money. These are not shows that are monetized. These are just things that I'm doing for the love of music. Maybe I could do podcasts or do what do you call it? I don't know, whatever they call it. Where you can pay for support. Maybe eventually I'll get to that. But be that as it may, right now that's not what's happening. So. With that being said, let me find the Black Ivory song that Anthony, what was it? Mia, get those glasses. She threw them on the ground. Yep. I think here it is. It's called You and I. Yeah. So remember, dreams are nothing more than plans of winning. Actually, never disrespect the elder. Always pull someone up. And sometimes you're the only one to see a vision. I can't see a big fingerprint. And if you're lucky enough, you're the only one to see a vision. So the best revenge in life is to live good. I'm living good today. Hope you are too. And if you're lucky to have a woman like Ali Woodson, former lead singer of Temptation One song, treat her like a lady. And ladies, if you're lucky enough to have a good man like me, make him feel like a king and never say no. I love you like a love song, baby. I'll talk to you later. This is Black Ivory. Enjoy. See you next Sunday. Rag, Gerard, Duchess will be the queen of soul. You want the glasses, no, huh? Remember, we talked about that falsetto voice that just ran right through that era, creating classic soul, and you can hear it here in Black Ivory. again, I want to thank you today for joining me on Sunday Morning Classic as Taryn goes by with music. I'll see you next week. Peace.